Remember to subscribe for daily top Reddit stories. Okay, story time. To those that live in Italy, how is the situation right now with coronavirus and lockdown? Currently watching a university lesson from my bed, but my father went to work this morning. I'm in a region where the lockdown started officially today, so it's all pretty new. Let's hope people don't storm the grocery stores. Edit. Since a lot of people are mentioning it, there's no news about shortage of toilet paper and, at least in my area, no assault on grocery stores. Edit 2. We can't get out of our houses. We are asked to do so just for necessity like buying groceries. We have to have a good reason if we want to leave our town. High school student here. Schools are simply closed and the TV is full of ads about washing your hands and avoid contact with other people. Edit. I forgot to say that each morning we have approximately 3 hours of video lessons from our laptop. Basic Italian uni student with bad English here. Basically, in the past we used to cough to cover up a fart. Nowadays we fart to cover up a cough. I'm a nurse student in Italy. Right now I can't go to the university. I can't go to work. We shouldn't go out unless it's a necessity. So basically we need to stay home and finally finish our Netflix list. It may sound pretty cool for the first few days, but after a while it gets pretty depressing and boring. I got so bored that I cleaned everything at home. I live in Verona. I'm a 19 years old living alone because my mother and my father took it in Milan, and for the first time I'm home alone for a month. Pretty nice though. I play GTA 5 with my friends like the old days, doing some indoor workout and experimenting with cooking. I'm becoming a good chef. The school is quite annoying, but it's okay. I wake up at 7:30 and at 8 AM I start to 5 hours straight in front of my laptop for online lessons, and then I go cooking my lunch. I don't go out if not to buy some food and maybe some cigarettes because the situation it's not good. There is no space left in the intensive therapy, so if I get really sick, they would have to remove someone to save me since I would have better chance of surviving. This is why I almost never go out. Once a week. I don't want to be the reason for someone's death. I finally have time to mod Skyrim. I have a daughter living in Serrano, but she works in Milano. She is housebound, on lockdown. Her courses are being done via Skype. Her employer has asked her not to come to work. She is not allowed to leave her house unless it is an emergency, which I hope never happens. She says there has been quite a bit of panic buying at the supermarkets. All the restaurants are pretty much empty. However, they are allowed to be open between 6 AM and 6 PM. People who are seated should have at least a 1 meter distance between them at restaurants. Tourist areas, Egg Duomo in Milano, are devoid of almost anybody. All school and universities remain closed. All sporting or any kind of events have been suspended. Ski resorts are closed. The same for cinemas, theaters, discos. All church services have been suspended. Whilst the measures may seem extreme, Italy has been the hardest hit worldwide besides for China. So it's necessary to curb travel and cultural activities to stop the spread of the virus. There will likely be a baby boom in 9 months. I'm a university student, and since last week we have been doing lessons via Microsoft Teams or Google Classrooms. I don't really like these methods, but it's the only alternative. So, there's a fair amount of psychosis between a big chunk of the population. Supermarkets have been raided overnight. We are advised to not leave our houses unless it's necessary, but you can fill a form on your own to certify that you need to go to work. So basically everyone is running around without a real examination of that form because literally anyone can do that. The only thing that has been really impacted by this is nightlife and sports, since every league of every sport is suspended until April. I'm a final year medic and I'm graduating on Thursday over Skype. Sorry for asking a question here, as I am not exactly answering yours OP. Are tourists allowed to fly out of Italy, or are they supposed to stay in Italy until the lockdown is over? Edit. You Pinecone Sloth, thanks for the award. Thanks everyone else for your comments. I asked this question because a colleague of mine flew in on Sunday with their family to northwest Italy for a week-long skiing holiday. They didn't want to lose the money, so they went. I have been made aware that they're being sent back today itself and the rest of their trip was refunded. They are going to self-isolate for 2 weeks. but I do agree with the ones who mentioned about infecting others on their way home from the airport. For a couch potato like me, it's awesome. I can watch my uni lessons online and in my free time play a duck ton of video game or work out a little bit. Also, I think we're allowed to leave and get some fresh air. So except for the deadly virus thing, everything is okay. I've been locked in my house with my 2 sisters and my mother for 2 weeks and I still have a month ahead of me. PLS send help. Edit. To be clear, I was joking. I'm perfectly fine. The situation is not that bad. We can go out to buy groceries or to work. The big problems are that some people are losing their jobs and how the economy will be affected now and in the aftermath. I am a doctor who works at one of the largest hospitals in Rome. The situation seems much worse than reported in the news. We are scared, but we continue to go to work for a sense of responsibility by turning. We do not have suitable safeguards for our protection, such as FFP3 masks. Why did it get so bad in Italy? Anyway, it seems so disproportionate and random that Italy of all places got slammed by this disease. It's not so good. Since yesterday night, every town is locked down. I cannot move 5 kilometers without a proper reason, work, or a relative very sick and so on. Otherwise I could get arrested. The government, immediately backed up by lots of celebrities, is basically saying please, stay home. Our emergency departments in the hospitals are collapsing. Literally, chemos or surgeries that are not urgent are being delayed. How's a chemo not urgent? Bars and restaurants can only open from 6 AM to 6 PM. It's been over a month that places where big number of people could meet have been closed. Discos, sports centers, clubs, schools and universities. It's crazy. I am 14 and live in Italy. It's not bad. I don't have to go to school, but I still have to do homework, but it's not too much. We will have virtual lesson this week. I have finally time to read Plato's Republic, and I can finally get better at doing the Rubik's Cube. I have a lot of free time, so I joined the Conlanging Discord to learn something new. This will last until the 3rd of April and I'm really happy about it. South Italy here. I'm waiting for the virus to spread as in northern Italy, if not worse. A lot of idiots rushed south to their mommy after the government declared the region of Lombardia red zone. And here the people seems to not understand the situation. Yesterday morning there were a lot of people strolling around not caring about what's happening. Yesterday night the Prime Minister declared all Italy red zone. And a lot of people rushed to 24/7 stores to buy food. I decided to stay at home for at least a week. But my parents and the parents of my friends are going around the city like it's not their problem. There will be another infection peak here in the southern Italy in a few days. We have a hashtag running on Twitter. #IO sto a casa. It basically means I stay home. People only travel alone and maintain a 1 meter safe distance. We have to change life habits drastically for 2 weeks to keep the virus from spreading. It worked in Wuhan. We hope it works here as well. I'm a student who lives in Emilia-Romagna. Schools have been closed for 3 weeks. There is no one hanging out. Everyone is cooped up in their houses. Not gonna lie, this looks like a post-apocalyptic scenario. People are starting to have relatives with the virus. My aunt, for example, has the virus. In every town there are a few infected. We can't move from a town to another unless we have a specific permission. For example, we can if we have to go to work. Every day we use Google Meet to make online video calls with our teachers and classmates. So we keep studying and doing our programs even if we are closed in our houses. Many people are terrified, while many are chilling way too much, especially in the southern regions, because the virus has just started spreading there, while here in the northern regions there are already thousands of infected. If you're a good citizen and you don't have a job, it's hard to tell. For example, I only poke my nose out of the house to go to the grocery store, and I can tell you there is no big problem there. Sometimes there are empty shelves, but it's not something surreal. Though if you look at the streets, there are so few people, some wearing masks, with no social interaction. It's weird. And the fact you don't have to go to school or university, and you can't even move out normally, makes this whole thing feel weird as duck. It's like time has stopped. It's pretty shit actually. I'm sophomore and I feel like it will be really hard to catch up, because we will have barely a month of actual school left. Moreover, the lockdown is causing severe economical issues, especially to those who own small businesses such as restaurants, clothing stores, etc. A lot of these activities will go bankrupt because they have close to no customers. However, I think the only thing we can do is contain the infection, so the lockdown is necessary. We should stay home, but people are selfish and don't care. Aldent. Basically, for the first time in history, I can save my life and potentially someone else's too by being a piece of shit laying on the couch all day watching Netflix and playing video game. I basically live in the epicenter of the outbreak of coronavirus here in Italy. Things are difficult for me because I am far from my parents, like 1 hour drive. They are in their 70s and I am stuck because I don't wanna go home since I am scared I could possibly infect them. But at the same time I wanna help them with groceries and stuff. I am currently working from home and going out only once a week to do grocery shopping. To move between different towns we need a document attesting that we are either going home, work, or it's an emergency. The hardest part is hearing the daily update of the number of deaths and sick people. Every day we are told that hospitals cannot accept people anymore. All the hospitals here in the Lombardy region are saturated. Nurses and doctors are falling sick too. If you need to go to an emergency room, even if it is not for the coronavirus, they cannot help you and this feeling is devastating. Moreover, there are no masks around. It's impossible to find them and hospitals are finishing them too. Waking up every day to this is hard, but I'm still hopeful that this thing will end soon. I'm Air Force stationed in Pisa. I was thinking my drive to work this morning would be quiet after the lockdown. Nope. Cause on the roads like normal and saw flights taking off from the airport. Not sure how people are flying unless it's within the country. Thinking face. Currently waiting on word on how the military will go forward with the new decree. I'm in senior year in high school. I don't know how it is in other countries, but here we have a final exam called maturity. Currently we are organizing with our teachers to do online classes, and we have like zero information on how it will be our maturity because of the time we are losing at home. School aside, there's an order from the government that says that all the further pointless outgoes will be sanctioned by police. But for me, being a teenager, this is not so bad. I play a lot of Rainbow Six Siege. I do my homework, and I finally have some time to edit some videos or read the books I bought about video editing. It's quite brutal if you ask me, but I understand the situation and I will cooperate with what my government decided. A girl finally said yes to me for a first date, a day before the lockdown. She lives in another region, so press F. Our area is in lockdown since Sunday. Life is still quite normal here, except for the lines at the grocery stores. We need a paper in order to travel from a city to another. You can travel for emergencies and for work. Got some extra food just in case. Get ready, fellow European Redditors. This is not a joke. Someone from Italy went to Malta carrying the virus. Malta is that dot of land you see beneath Italy. Schools weren't stopped yet, though they should be, and Malta only has 12 beds ready for the virus and I'm worried it's too little. The press considers Milan a red zone and were preparing for shutdown, but it got leaked before actually being signed. So now a lot of people from the northern parts are fleeing to the southern parts, where many have homes in the countryside. I am not trying to be judgmental, but it is a lot more likely for them to have the virus. And considering how it may take up to 2 weeks for the symptoms to show, we do not know if they are actually ill. We are ducked. Also, our teacher got kicked from the Google Meet due to a lag buffer and we've just been shitposting. Had to go to work this morning in a desert city. Felt post-apocalyptic in every means. Empty stations. Recorded warnings about the situation, etc. And despite wanting to rush thing at work to go back home, I can't really get the right amount of concentration. Everything is in lockdown. You can't move without a valid reason. This wouldn't have happened if it weren't for all those stupid people who kept traveling even though they were explicitly told not to. There are many infections caused by this. Literally, sick people escaped from quarantine to go back to their native town. Also, the other day, as soon as the first red zones No traveling from to those zones were announced. The train stations of those zones were full of people running away. It's surreal how stupid people can be. I'm a student in high school and it only just got dramatic the last days. Last week, out of the sudden you get to know that you won't have school next week. We were all pretty cool with it and rather happy about not having to study. But now it gets worse every day. Cinemas are closed. A lot of bars and restaurants are closed. Libraries are closed. Churches are closed. Clubs are closed. And since yesterday we know that we won't be going to school for a whole month. It's a really scary situation. You don't know what to do and you hope that it's over soon. The worst thing is that they suggest you not to leave your house at all. The most frightening thing is going to be the economy. Not only stock prices, but all the small businesses that survived and that support small communities. My parents own a big electrotechnical company, but their biggest clients are the government, airports and big corporations that now don't allow anyone inside. It's looking pretty bad and the worst is yet to come according to academic studies. I am self-employed. I am working as normal, but I advised my clients not to come by unless it's truly urgent. I'm asking my secretary to take a paid leave until the end of the month because I don't really need her around since many colleagues are not working much right now. All bars are closed. Restaurants too I guess, but I wouldn't know because I have a newborn and my life has been just work home for the past 2 months anyways. We avoid shaking hand and coming too close to other people. Wash our hands religiously and change clothes as soon as I get home. I avoid taking the elevator as much as possible. All in all, life is going on mostly as it was before, but there's very few people around. I am mostly worried about my father since he's close to 80 and he insists on working. I hope this goes away soon. Edit. To clarify, I bike to work. Do not take transportations. I don't need to see or talk to anyone. The only people I get close to are my wife and child who do not leave the house. It's ducking outrageous. I'm crying right now while I'm typing these words. I'm 19. I study IT in university and both my mother and my father, divorced, have lost their job for at least the next month. It's already really hard normally. Right now the situation is terrible. This morning I've spent hours looking for good websites where to sell our paintings and everything that allow us to continue living. Even before this whole thing started I was looking for a job to get some money while studying so to help my family. But right now I can't even go to an interview because movements are allowed only for working. If you already have a job and health issues. I live in the region where this whole thing started in Italy. Yesterday night our government has extended our rules to all regions of Italy. So this means that the number of people living my situation has only increased. I never imagined I would ever live this nightmare. Italian here. I'm a high schooler and we are now attending online lessons. Since yesterday evening, all Italy is in quarantine. Shoot, I gotta go get wasted. Thanks for listening. If I spark joy, hit me with a like and subscribe. I make new videos every day. Till then, check out another video or leave a comment. I love you. Have a great day, you amazing powerful person.